I didn't know whether the Damon system was that good. I can truly say that initially I struggled with using the brackets, even though I saw the proof. I truly believe that I've developed myself as being like a go-kart driver initially, should I say. Now I'm stepping on the toes of some of the F1 drivers.
I think the other myth is that the orthodontist think the patient actually wants to come and see them.
What would you say to an up-and-coming orthodontist that's just starting that journey?
They say, run, Forrest, run.
Don't do it. So I'm now joined by two titans of the orthodontic industry in the UK. So Darsh, you want to just introduce yourself to our listeners, kind of like your journey of orthodontics, self-ligating journey, and where you are today?
Wow. Orthodontics, I trained in Birmingham under the pupillage of a chap called Dr. David Sperry, a real unsung hero in terms of what he did and all the concepts and the principles that he made me learn as an SPR ultimately when I was doing my training. He really made me look at all the different appliance systems and really tested us in terms of saying, well, you need to know all of them. Mm-hmm. So I actually blame him for where I am now here, some 20 years later. And thank you very much, David, for doing this to me. However, I wouldn't change a thing because actually, since I've qualified, I've always looked at how can we always better ourselves in what we do, how we do things and everything else. And my self-ligating journey started with the famous Dwight Damon, and actually seeing him for the very first time was really inspirational, and how he really looked at face-driven orthodontics. Mm-hmm. and that ever since has impacted on me. Well, whatever system I use, whatever bracket I use, aligners or anything else, everything is driven towards being face-driven. And here I am today, having tried out so many of these different systems, and now for the last 15 years, I would say I'm exclusively Damon from a bracket sort of system. And we've chopped and changed the aligner systems with regards to which ones are the best ones that are the most efficient in our hands, mm-hmm. ultimately. So that's where it takes us to today.
Perfect. And Monica, I know we've had a conversation already, but I'll just get you to kind of run through. You mentioned your journey and your history of your parents, and then the NHS contracts, and your journey to the Damon bracket as well. Do you want to just give us a really quick run through of that as well?
Okay. I qualified in South Africa, and I was in Scotland when I moved to the UK, in Scotland for a year, and then when I moved down to Bishop Stortford, where I was still working in the same practice, I started using Damon brackets in about 2002 when it was MX. Mm-hmm. And I've changed over to Q2, and that's what I'm using at the minute.
Begrudgingly, you said before, right?
Enforced change. They broke the machine and they couldn't make it anymore. So they forced me. But yeah, I'm using Q2 and I'm very happy. And I think we were one of the first ones with really big NHS contracts who started using mm-hmm. Damon brackets on the NHS, and they thought we were absolutely crazy.
Mm. I think there's still some skeptics out there. That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of today. Is it true? Are the claims right, or is it all white noise and kind of unsubstantiated claims? And what about you guys? How long have you known each other for?
I would say
at least 20 years.
How long? I don't think I was at Dentistry.
I wasn't even born then.
What are you talking about? Old now.
I feel like Monica's a real big sister to me.
The older one, yeah.
You can slap. It's all right. You can slap.
No, I've known Monica for such a long time that it's been such a great experience knowing her. Really, I think it stemmed from the Damon days.
Yeah, we definitely
right?
got Monica. All that Damon forums.
Yes, Monica, Damon forums and stuff. So
and
it's
then
really.
I attended quite a few of your lectures when you were still lecturing.
Yes.
You still are.
And you lecture me on all the other things on how to run a business and everything else. So we've really had a good synergy of helping each other out, and actually, it's amazing how like-minded individuals will contact each other and actually say, well, how do you get out of this situation? How do you get out of that situation? Because we all learn from each other.
We've got a lovely little WhatsApp group. We have quite a few TIO guys on it as well, and it's like, guys, is this, what did they say today?
Yeah, so it's literally just challenging yourself and saying, what are you using? If I want to do this, where do I go?
And
what's your experience?
I can't find this on the market anymore.
Yeah.
Where can I buy this? And it's and then someone say, oh no, that's rubbish, don't. And then you, oh gosh, okay, maybe I should try this. So and you know someone's tried it and it worked. It's not just someone selling you something.
Yeah, it's really experience for me. So literally, like today, we had a real big discussion about TADs and which TADs to use and how long and all these things. So, I mean, that's we all, and I think that's been one of the biggest challenges for people to say, well, Damon doesn't work or whatever in my hands and this and the other. So, I think it's. Our friendships and everything else that we've built over the years have really been so strong that actually we've learned together and grown together. Absolutely. And that's where we are now today, I think.
Absolutely.
And in terms of translating that into, because obviously your journeys have been different, but as you said, you've supported each other, so you've kind of been on the sidelines of cheerleading each other as you go through that journey as well. Was the transition from traditional bracket to self-ligating a really conscious one, or is it something that happened over time for you guys? Maybe start with you, Darsh.
So for me, it stems back to my NHS days. So I was and used to do NHS back in the days, and it was very traditional NHS brackets and traditional philosophies, very extraction based and everything else. But at the same time is when I was dipping into all the face-driven orthodontics and everything else. And for my private patients who could pay the little bit extra, I went down the road of self-ligation. And during that time, I didn't know whether the Damon system was that good. Everybody is different. In their hands, it's different, you know? And I can truly say that initially I struggled with using the brackets and the philosophy and the system, even though I saw the proof, right? I could see that the proof was there. And because the proof was there, I was convinced that, look, this is the right direction to go in.
Persevere a bit here, yeah.
And we have to just learn from our mistakes ultimately as well, because we learn more from our mistakes than we do just from our successes. So on that note as well, I went down the road of trying out all the different self-ligating systems as well. I mean, literally, I was part of the Smart Clip trial and the GAC Innovation, RC, all of them I used. And I was being given others to say, could you try this? Could you try this? And I tried them all, thinking, well, hold up, there's a cheaper bracket there, the old philosophy of, well, we could do it the same, use the Damon brackets and cheaper wires even and stuff like that. I mean, but it all came back full circle to say, do you know what? You have to use the products, but you've also got to use quality products as well and not try and cheat. So I know from the times that we've been using these things, we've all done it, haven't we? To try and save costs, because we've all run a business ultimately, right?
Yeah, and costs aren't going down of running a business, are they? They're going up. So you look for efficiencies.
100%. So I mean, and then last 10 years, we haven't dabbled or anything. I mean, literally, we've trusted our systems. We've worked out all the little nuances that there are and everything else in terms of the Damon system and what have you. And I truly believe that I've developed myself as being like a go-kart driver initially, should I say, right? To then Formula 3, 2, and even
now you're in F1, full on F1,
and now I'm stepping on the toes of some of the F1 drivers, right? But it is literally that. I would put that analogy that sometimes you just can't drive that car because you're jumping too quickly and you don't have the experience and the know-how, and that's where good relationships and individuals help training. I mean, I must have spent tens of thousands of pounds on training in terms of this, and we still do, don't we, right? Even to this day, to the point where we are off again, right, in January for another training for us. Because I think the key thing is that if I look back to what I did and what I trained as, I was trained to be an NHS orthodontist.
Well, that's what MOrth trains you to do, right?
100%. And then that's when the journey starts. And I'm looking at it going, 5 years ago even, I look at it and go, no, I think we've learned everything, right? And now we look at ourselves now and what we're doing and all the other things we're pushing the boundaries or efficiency-wise and systems that we put into place. And I'm thinking, what's it going to look like in 5 years' time? You know, because things are changing radically all the time. So, but what I can say is right now, I am super happy and super comfortable in what I'm doing. And even to the point where even 2 years ago, when the new Ultima was launched as well, I was very fortunate that I was given one of the first boxes sent to me by Dwight Damon with a lovely little message. So please try these out. These are my new invention and this and that. And the first thing I thought was, oh my God, he's thought of something else, right? Because his thought level's up there, right? And we're here, and he's thinking at that level. And I just parked it for 6-9 months to just get my head round. I don't even understand it, right? Because it's such a different concept. And I mean, the best analogy I have to that is back in the days when Larry Andrews first developed MBT, and everybody was like, oh, what's this MBT? It's the next thing, and this, that, and the other. It was such a big leap for us. I truly believe that the Damon Ultima system is just as big a step forward because of the way the engineering in the bracket, the round wires, and the whole shape of the actual bracket is so different to what we did before. And now 2 years plus down the line of having used the Ultima exclusively, because I waited a few months, 6 months, and then switched completely. I can truly say that actually I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back to Q2, even though I was really good at using Q2, you know. I have so many more efficiencies now with the Ultima system that I didn't think I would have, nor could I imagine that someone as bright as Damon could have developed something which was even better than actually the Damon system, you know. So I'm really excited for what the future holds, and actually to say, well, where are we going next, almost in a way, right?
Yeah, good. And in your opinion, clinically, which types of cases, like class 2, class 3, deep bites, extractions, what kind of cases do you feel this bracket, whether it's Q2 or whether it's Ultima, really excels, in your opinion, in your hands?
I use them all the cases.
All, everything?
Yeah.
Across the board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't use another bracket system. So if it's fixed, it's Damon. Yeah.
And you were the same. You said you were all in. Right?
So, yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't think it lends itself to one particular malocclusion. It is there as a complete... all-encompassing treatment. And actually, if anything, it helps even more in the more complex cases as such. Because, I mean... I have to pinch myself sometimes, and I look back to it and I say to myself constantly, I'm always saying to myself, am I doing the right thing? Is this correct? Is this the best thing? But it's the same, isn't it, as the classic daughter test or something along those lines. What would you do if it was your daughter in terms of treatments? And then I look at it and go, well, how long does the average orthodontist review their cases for? How long is that follow-up? Is it 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Have you seen your treatments 10 years down the line in terms of what you did, and did it work, and is it still just as good and everything else? And that's something I really tried to focus in on when we built our practices, right? Because I know you do as well. You have something called a retainer club, and I have something called a retainer club. And because of that, we can see these patients year on year on year. And I'm at about 15 years now on some of these cases, and I'm looking back on it, and some of them I look at it and go, oh, I could have done that a little bit better, all right? But overall, I look at it and go, wow.
Held really well.
Yeah. Wow. But I want to challenge anybody out there to say, well, how long have you ever monitored your patients for? Because I don't know about you, but I know in my demographics, we are retreating thousands of NHS patients who have had treatment done with extractions, and the relapse. It's not just relapse. And it's laughed about when we talk about the UK, right? But it's like severe, profound relapse, right? And I don't think they deserve that, because we are a bit of a laughing stock internationally when it comes to, well, yeah, we can spot a British smile or something along those lines. And I'm like, that shouldn't be the case. We should be working towards delivering the very best for everybody all the time. But what really scares me is right now we're still doing exactly the same thing on the NHS. All right,
we are, except some pioneers that are pushing the premium brackets through to change that trajectory, right?
And 100%, but that will be brilliant to see down the line, because I know for a fact the roots are going into a better position from an earlier stage and everything else. So the stability is going to be better long term. I have patients come back 5 years later and I said, well, how much have you worn your retainers? I said, you know what, I stopped wearing it after year 2 or 3, right? And I look at it, I go, oh my God, it's going to be bad. And you look at it, take pictures and assess it, and you're like, wow, look how well these are still holding. We don't advocate that. A little bit of retention is what we always say is lifelong. But I am gobsmacked, and good on you in terms of the fact that you have pioneered the fact that I'm not satisfied to, even for my NHS patients, to provide average treatments. I still want to excel and provide the very best stable end results. And I'm sure you see that when you routinely monitor them.
And talking about premium brackets and the front end investment, you both have openly said you've dabbled and you've tried and you've thought about, okay, the cost efficiency front end. And it's a bit of a false economy from what people are saying, having gone through that and what you're kind of reiterating, right? Based on totting it all up. So, the reduction in visits required, the length and duration of treatment, is it safe to say that you're both sitting here confirming that that is a no-brainer in terms of the longer-term commercial benefit? So forget the clinical side, but the business head of both of you on there is a case and a belief from you guys that spending on the premium bracket is well worth the return in the long run.
Definitely. For me, definitely. The efficiency, the patient satisfaction. And I remember when Dwight Damon started with MX. Oh no, there was something before. No, MX, but there was a clear
Damon
one.
3.
Yeah. And he just said he was working with conventional brackets, and he got home one evening and he was so tired, and he said, there's got to be an easier way. And that's how I feel. It's an easier way. For me, it's easier doing the treatments, a lot more non-extraction. They treat out quicker. So yeah, I'm quite happy.
No, I completely agree with you. The whole issue of efficiency is down to how much time is the patient spending in a chair, right? How many appointments are they having? How much is your cost per chair per day?
Do you even know what that is? Yeah.
Right. And for sure, one, clinically we've seen huge benefits, but definitely as well you will see that you will free up so much more time to actually spend on diagnosis and treatment planning ultimately, or to see more new patients and everything else. So your diary is almost cut in half, right? In terms of, I don't know what you think about that. And we haven't even talked about the efficiencies of marrying that together with dental monitoring, because dental monitoring brings a whole different efficiency level as well in terms of it. So when that happened, we didn't truly understand how good it was. On its own, it's great and super efficient, but together with dental monitoring, because we're exclusively dental monitoring for all of our patients as well, the efficiency gains are even more wild. I look at it, I go, well, we're still treating the same number of patients and more even, but the diary is quieter, right? But
Feels
not
less
because,
hectic,
not because we have not treating them, the patients, but because we're going at an efficiency rate which is unheard of before, and I never would have expected that. Actually, that was a really nice bonus in a way, right? And a nice surprise to us that actually we do have that, and I think patients really value that as well, saying, look, you won't need to come in as often and everything else, appointments on demand and all these other elements that kick in there. But and now, just like the self-ligating and Damon and brackets, that I couldn't live without, I couldn't go back, because I'd look back at it as a huge step backwards. I couldn't also live without dental monitoring now as well, because of the fact that it's so interwoven with it. We don't have patients ringing the phones down right, and everything else, because they'll message us on dental monitoring. They don't panic because we can give them advice. We are more efficient with our appointments as well, because if they have an emergency or a bracket comes off, we tell them, right, can you take an emergency scan on dental monitoring? And then what we do is we look at it and go, actually, can we get an adjustment done at the same time, or to save them another visit, rather than just coming in, having a bracket fixed and off they go, and then coming back again. So I know for me, and I'm sure it's the same for you, is our appointments that physically they need for a course of treatment have drastically reduced.
I think the other myth is that the orthodontist think the patient actually wants to come and see them.
Yeah, they really don't.
They really don't. So to them, it's just, if you tell them you don't have to come so often and these longer spaces in between the shorter, whatever, they are more than happy.
So with me, or it opens up a whole new market, like where you can travel, right? Like I travel with work and I can't be in a chair every 8 weeks. It's just not feasible. Do you know, like, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good. Bit off topic. What is your favourite memory of each other? I want dirt and all. There's got to be some after conferences, training courses.
Was it Vienna? We had a good, I remember that one evening. You and me and Costas were sitting there. Was it Vienna?
Yeah, probably. The restaurant?
Yes, at the bottom of the hotel. I think everyone was finished already, and when we sat there, I think they had to close the rest of our like, can you please just go now?
Sadly, maybe, or from a fun point of view, all my memories with you, Monica, has always been about having a drink at the end of a conference and a real good giggle about life and all the other elements. So I always toast a glass to you, because actually we always know. And every time I'm with you, we always will say, right, let's wait. At the end of it, we always say, right, let's go for a drink, right? Absolutely. Because we have to celebrate this. Because how often do we see each other and then we reminisce and catch up with each other? So, unfortunately, Monica involves alcohol.
Or fortunately, it depends on which way you want to look at it.
Or fortunately.
I always get blamed. Yeah, he's like, I
Darsh is like Teflon. Flows off him, right? Yeah. Everyone knows.
Absolutely. I pin them down and I throw down with rage, you know.
We love it. We
always have a good party.
Yeah, we do. We always have a good party.
And as people who have clearly been very successful and thought leaders in the orthodontic space, pushing boundaries, always have done. It's kind of the common ground that have linked you guys together from day dot. What would you say to an up-and-coming orthodontist that's just starting that journey?
When they say run, Forrest, run.
Don't do it.
I think they have to start NHS to learn how to work when you just start out. I think if you just go private, I think that's it. And I think you have to learn all the basics. But then you have to be discerning. And then when you are a practice owner, everyone's got to, cut their teeth on some other way. But I think a lot of people try and bypass for NHS, and there's a lot of bad things to be said about it, but I think there's a lot of good things as well. A lot of experience and just getting faster and working on a patient and getting it all done.
Under pressure a little bit.
Don't skip the NHS, but I think it is important. But when you're doing it, you don't need to do it. You can do it good.
I completely agree. I think the NHS grounding is. I cannot see how a new orthodontist that's coming out fresh is experienced yet.
Yeah.
And the NHS is the perfect ground to go and practice all the things that you've learned and put them into place. But speed is one of the key factors you need to know, and how to get efficient at what you're doing, and know, right, we have to do this, get this done, do this, get on the NHS, do as much as you can in every visit ultimately as well, so that you're efficient as you can be and not try and cheat the system. Otherwise you'll have patients on the NHS whether they're dragging along for 2, 3, 4 years. And
then the compounding issue you mentioned, the volumes,
And that's not you want to be super efficient if you're on the NHS, if anything,
and it's a good learning curve, and then you can do your private and then do all that stuff.
And at the same time, I would say, which is how I did it, is do the other bits as well, because actually you then start to see, oh, that's fun, and you're not. There's no expectation of look, I'm learning still, and very. I said it way back in the days when I did it myself. I said to the patients, look, it's a new bracket. I'm going to trial it out. Are you happy for me to do it on you? There's no cost to you, and X, Y, Z, and they were like, yeah, great, right? So. And I think that was really good, because you can make mistakes, right? And not have to worry about the private world, which is much more demanding.
Customer instead of patient and these sorts of things.
So I would 100% say to any new orthodontist that comes out, go and get a good NHS job, right? But also at the same time, while you're doing that, go and learn as much as you can. Be the sponge again that you were when you first started to be your training, and go and learn as much as you can from as many people as you can as well, because that's only going to hold you in good stead down the line. So I 100% agree with you. Do not jump straight to private. We're seeing that a lot with a lot of general dentists as well as orthodontists, and actually they don't have the experience to know how to handle it when a specialist level, when things go wrong. Right, so that would be my advice.
It's a good learning curve.
I love that.
Despite everything,
I think that's a really important one, because under adversity, creativity fosters, right?
Yes,
and that is like one of the key things that you need when you are a practice owner, because people think it's easy. It's not. It's very difficult, very complex. You add the commercial management on top of the clinical, responsibility and accountability. It's a different ball game as well, right? So I love that. I think that's really, really good advice. Perfect.
That's all we've got time for today. Make sure you subscribe and stay ahead of the curve. We'll be dropping a new episode of Tim Talks every month. Thanks for listening.